welcome to Stationery by Justine. I'm Justine. I am a wife, I am a kindergarten teacher, an Etsy seller, and a crafter. And this channel is meant to inspire you to create. If you like what you see, please go ahead and like the video and subscribe for future videos. I'm also a Spellbinders influencer, so all products from them are free to me, and the opinions that I state in my videos are my own. If you are interested in what I am showing, there are links in the description below this video, as well as a link to my Etsy shop. Hello, today I'm going to be showing you 5 different cards using the Spellbinders April stamp of the month, and at the end I will show you one extra card of the 5 that I use the stamp of the month and the small die of the month to make a kind of combination card. My first card is going to be using this happy birthday and the sentiment, may your day be filled with enough smiles to last the whole year. I love this sentiment group, so I used it in a few different cards. So since I had ink on my stamp, I went ahead and stamped it on the circle and on the rectangle, and I put that sentiment near the bottom to kind of use the thirds rule. If you don't know what that is, Google can probably do a better job of explaining what that is, but it's using 1/3 and drawing your eye down, I guess, or up, or wherever the third is. And for these cards, I'm using the Archival Ink by Ranger, which is jet black. Next, I'm going to take the small bows that came in the stamp set and just randomly stamp them all over, being sure to turn my stamp block as I go. I wanted to use the stamp set as much as possible to make a whole bunch of different cards without making the same card more than a couple times. Now, this card could be used with, any different medium to color in those bows. You could use markers, you could use crayons, and it really doesn't matter. Color pencils, watercolor if you have a small enough brush, but you can change the color of the bows and it'll be perfect for any occasion. Now, if you were looking closely, you might have noticed that when I was stamping, I did kind of fumble a bit on the first card, but I will show you what I'm going to do to make those mistakes not even show up in the end. And if you noticed on this one, I flipped over the paper and just started over on this side. It's funny how it works out because it ends up having a mistake on it anyway, but that's okay because it's a handmade card. And this card, you can also change the colors of the bows. Maybe if you know that someone's favorite color is green, blue, purple, whatever it might be, you can change the color and it would be perfect for any person, really. And you could also change the shape of the die. I used a circle stitch die, but it doesn't matter. Now, here's what I'm doing to make those little mistakes go away. I'm using a Sadler, I'm not sure how you pronounce it, but it's basically a thin pen, marker pen, and you just go over the lines, and no one ever knows. Except you do now because you're watching this video, but most people would not know unless they're looking really, really close. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and color this first card in shades of blue because I'm using that blue cardstock for the background. And I'm using Copic markers. So the first color I'm using here is B12, like the vitamin, and B05 for the 4 looped bows. It's kind of a darker blue. And then my third color will be BG13. That's more of the blue-green shade, and I thought that would look nice as a little trio. You can see on the side I do use a little bit of scratch paper just to see, how the marker is going to look together, and I tested one out and thought, nope, I didn't like that one. It was too dark. So I went with the BG13. And that seemed to work out nicely. Something you could do to add a little bit of interest to the inside is stamp the same sentiment again, or one of the other sentiments from the stamp collection, or you could stamp like maybe the presents. It's up to you. I chose to leave it blank in the inside, but that was just basically out of time. And I'll just glue this on with some adhesive in just a little bit. And I'm moving right along to my second card. I loved this color of cardstock that I had here, and I thought I would go in shades of tan, but then I thought, a tan birthday card seems a little drab. I don't know. So I went with some colors to kind of pop it up a bit. Make it a little more celebrational, if you will. So first I used Yellow Green 07 for the for looped bows. And now I'm using Red Violet 09 for the double bows. And I purposely didn't really stamp in the middle of this card because I knew that that big circle die was going to go over it. So some of my bows might get lost behind that circle, so we'll see. And there's my mistake. If you can see it there in that pink corner, I used some color corrector because I colored outside the lines. Oh, I know, so terrible. But then it ended up bleeding through, but it doesn't matter. I'm going with it. And again, I'm using my tape runner, which is the Easy Runner Grand, and just sticking those straight onto my card base. So there's the first finished card. Again, you can change up the colors, and you could even move the sentiment up in the middle or on the top, or flip your card over. It's up to you. And here's my second one. I'm just gonna use the same tape, and at the last second I decided to make it a landscape card, which is kind of fun. So there's the second finished card with nothing inside. All right, now for the third card. I wanted this to be kind of like a quick card, and maybe one, if you're not too comfortable with stamping, you could do this fairly easily, or if you don't have coloring materials, you can just use ink and some paper. When you use colored cardstock, you can kind of get away with not coloring too much. So that's what I did there. And since I have ink on my stamps, I'm just going to go ahead and get ready for card number 4. Being that it's already inky and it seems pointless to clean it, just to use it again in about 3 minutes. And just to give you a look, there's my finished card for number 3. And there's not much else to it. Pretty simple. Now this one, I kind of went rogue. I don't know. You'll have to let me know in the comments what you think about this card, but it's pretty bright. I started off using Y06, and which is basically bright yellow. And I just wanted this to be kind of like a fun summer card. I'm really feeling summery, springy, kind of overwinter, honestly. Now I'm using YR09, which is another bright color, some orange. And then lastly, G14, another bright color. Just wait till you see the cardstock I use. And then I'm just going to take the coordinating dies from the stamp and go ahead and cut those out. Yes, I chose bright yellow. All right. Now I'm just going to kind of arrange these on, and I'm not really planning out how I'm arranging them. I just kind of planned that I wouldn't put two next to each other that were the same color. And just making my way around with some liquid glue, putting them here and there. Kind of looks like a Christmas wreath, but I don't know. And in the end, I ended up with 2 extra bows, and I just stuck one inside and kept the other for another project. So those are my 4 finished cards. And now for the surprise card. Yay. Here it is. I used the die of the month and the stamp set to make this card. Again, I love those 3 sentiments together, the happy birthday and the may your day, etc. And I just used an embossing folder from my stash to add a little bit of excitement to the background and glued it all down with liquid glue. And I did end up popping up the presents just for some dimension. All right, so those are all of the cards. And I do have one other video that shows the green card, and it just shows me using the same stamp set from Spellbinders, the stamp of the month from April 22. So if you're interested in that, go ahead to my channel, and I'm sure that you will find it pretty quickly. It's dark green, and it says stamp of the month, April 2022, Spellbinders. All right, thanks for watching. Bye.